Rolling?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So first and foremost, sorry again for the terrible handwriting. But I wanted to address anxiety. So this is not coming from a psychological perspective. Like a lot of things that are psychological in nature, there's going to be an underlying neurological component one way or another. That's a whole nother video that we could do, a whole nother almost like series of videos we could do. But there's going to be underlying neurological networks and biochemical pathways that are not operating correctly that's going to drive anxiety or other psychological conditions. So from a neurological perspective, when it comes to anxiety, we can kind of break it down to two different types, whether we're dealing with children or adults. So when we're dealing with anxiety, when we're dealing with anxiety, we're dealing with two different types of neurotransmitters. The first one is GABA. So if we are low on GABA, this is almost that textbook anxiety of panic attacks, inner trembling. We're going to be dealing with a lot of self-medication with adults. And the self-medication, as I kind of wrote down here, is going to be sugar, carbohydrates, it might be alcohol, and then now in this day and age with certain laws being passed, it can be recreational drug use. Whether that's prescribed or not is being seen more and more so clinically. And with a lack of GABA, we'll have insomnia. Now, GABA, gamma aminobutyric acid, is a very large amino acid. So when someone actually ingests GABA itself and it actually makes you better or worse, that's actually a sign that you have a permeable blood-brain barrier. So if you follow me for a second, if you take GABA and it makes you better or worse, not a good thing. You actually have other things to worry about. So what I recommend is taking what are called GABA precursors. Dealing with a permeable or porous blood-brain barrier, whole nother topic. But to help your body naturally make more GABA, we can take things all at once to help the GABA get increased naturally. A couple of the compounds are L-taurine, passion flower extract, L-theanine. These two here are just amino acids. This one here is a herb extract. And if you tack on magnesium and certain B vitamins like P5P, which is another popular active form of a B vitamin, then your body will take these nutrients in the concentrated form and it will naturally make more GABA in your brain. A lot of these nutrients like taurine and L-theanine are popular to just take by yourself and people get results by themselves. But if you take these in combination, particularly in one product, you don't have to take 8 or 6 or 10 different products, then you'll actually have really great results of making more GABA naturally. That's called multi-nutrient therapy as opposed to the single nutrient therapy of just taking L-theanine to help you. Going over to serotonin, these two can overlap a little bit in terms of symptoms. Like when you're dealing with a lack of GABA or serotonin, you might have issues with worrying, inner trembling, and panic attacks. So there's a little overlap, if you will. But with serotonin, you might see more phobias. We might have depression, anger issues, and this is where we will have people maybe craving carbohydrates. Not so much self-medicating to just feel better, but they might just be all out craving that chocolate cake from Portillo's that we were just talking about over in Chicago. So when it comes to serotonin, this is the most popular neurotransmitter to be addressed. This is what gets addressed with antidepressants or SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. The reason is because serotonin acts on a lot of different networks on the brain. It's kind of the granddaddy of the main neurotransmitters. So it is going to have a profound effect when you help yourself make more serotonin. And the same rules apply to GABA with serotonin. You want to couple nutrients, and this is where we have a lot of these popular natural nutrients such as 5-HTP, or you can use tryptophan itself, St. John's wort, which is an herb, and then B vitamins. So again, it's pretty popular to take one of these or take a combination of, but if you form these with the B vitamins, with even going back here, I didn't mention earlier, magnesium, you can get fantastic results to make serotonin. And it'll be long lasting, it'll be somewhat homeopathic, and you'll create neuroplastic effects so that you don't always have to be on maybe an SSRI or a GABA-based drug like Xanax. You'll have effects that will last you a lifetime. It'll be less costly, less expensive. But either way, I wanted to address the two different types of anxieties, broken down again. You got GABA. GABA is the classic textbook, the worry warts, if you will. Serotonin, you mix in more mood issues such as the ups and downs, the emotional ability of anger and depression. And sometimes you might need to support both. In a lot of the kids I work on nowadays, we have to support both, and that's fine. Again, we don't always have to do it all the time, but it does help with emotional ability. It helps with the panic attacks. It helps with anxiety. A lot of people have anxieties for a lot of different reasons. So if we can couple one or both of them with any sort of care that you have, whether it's chiropractic, a functional medicine plan, a functional neurological plan, then this is a great way to just take the edge off what you're dealing with your anxiety, and we can get you moving on in life.